There's a part of me, wild and free.
2,000 years later.
In my heart there's a wild wolf howling to the tall pine tree. It's a long cold trail that I've been on. There just doesn't seem to be an end to this way I've been gone.
Eventually,
oh, I can see that road spreading over the land. I see a young boy standing with a suitcase in his hand. And it was long ago, the boy was me. And I was running like a wolf in the mountains, wild and free. I've got it in my mind that it must have been the times that made me to wander away from a family that I love and a warm roof above. But everybody around me does say, well,
day 2.
it was just me, being wild and free. I didn't care at all which way I did go. I didn't mind the hunger, the wind or the rain or the snow, 'cause I was on the road to what I wanted to be. Just another man moving down the highway, wild and free. Well, I've got it in my mind that it must have been the times that made me to wander away from a family that I love and a warm roof above. But everybody around me does say it was just me,
later,
being wild and free. There's a part of me still wild and free. In my heart there's a wild wolf howling to the tall pine tree. And it's a long cold trail that I've been on. There just doesn't seem to be an end to this way I've been going. Well, I've always worked the logging camps. Some call me a timber tramp. Wherever trees are falling, there I'll be. 5 a.m. my breakfast fixed. I'm in the woods to work by 6. So the life of a logger is for me. For at night you'll still remember the sound of crashing timber, the rattling of machinery and the buzzing of the saw.
1 hour later,
you can hear the men a-yelling and see the rigging pulling, all the chokers tied around the
1 eternity later,
fresh cut logs. Well, you know I ain't no stranger to hard work and danger, and bugs and mosquitoes feeding on my sweating brow. But America needs building, those trees need a milling. Gotta get them logs a-rolling, get 'em down. For at night you'll still remember the sound of crashing timber, the rattling of machinery and the buzzing of the saw. You can hear the men a-yelling and see the rigging pulling, all the chokers tied around the fresh cut logs. Well, I've always worked the logging camps. Some call me a timber tramp, and wherever trees are falling, there I'll be.
day 3.
5 a.m. my breakfast fixed. I'm in the woods to work by 6. So the life of a logger is for me. Oh, the life of a logger is for me.
4.
And in the caribou tundra, in the wild barren land, on the fierce Arctic ice where the polar bears stand, where the trail of the Eskimo hunter is worn, this is the country where legends are born. Where the
346 minutes later.
northern lights blaze above a cold Arctic haze, and caribou come to an old shaman's drum. In saloons and in dance halls they talked of the gold. There were stories of fortune, stories of cold. The trail of the weary gold miner is worn.
Later that same evening.
This is the country where legends are born, where they measured a man.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
By the gold in his hand, the speed of his gun, or the dogs he would run. He came here to settle, to build a new land. In her mountains and valleys, in their cabins they stand. The trail of the hardy homesteader is worn. This is the country where legends are born. These fields you see now were broke by their plow, and their children have grown to build homes of their own. And in the caribou tundra, in the wild barren land, on the fierce Arctic ice where the
The next day.
polar bear stands, where the trail of the Eskimo hunter is worn. Ah, this is the country where legends are born.
The next morning. The next morning.
hard and tough, but he'd had enough of the ocean and the whale. So he bid farewell to his shipmates all, and he hit the Klondike Trail. Like men of old, when he thought of gold, he could see himself a king. As he took the whip to the Huskies hitched, you could hear the big man sing, "I'm a
The next day.
on dogs, there's gold up in the stream, shining bright and haunting all my dreams." He'd heard stories tell of the Arctic hell and the trouble he would see, but his guide tonight were the northern lights, and they looked like heaven's key. After years on deck of a ship near wrecked and the smell of rotting whale, he would gladly take any pain or ache he'd be dealt upon this trail. Ah, mush on dogs, there's gold up in the stream, shining bright and haunting all my dreams. After years of toil in the Arctic soil, well, the big man found his gold, but it's sitting tight in a hiding sight, and it never will be sold. It's become his friend, and likewise the land and the cabin by the stream, and it's here he'll stay till his dying day as he dreams a miner's dream.
Later.
Ah, mush on dogs, there's gold up in the stream, shining bright and haunting all my dreams. He was hard and tough, but he'd had enough of the ocean and
The next day.
the whale. So he bid farewell to his shipmates all, and he hit the Klondike Trail, hit the Klondike Trail, hit the Klondike Trail.
3:28 a.m.